I truly don't. And it's all love. If you want to know why, you got to stay tuned to PVM. Positive vibes, maybe. Live talk show. I am your host, one half of the duo. Well, the duo expanding, you know what I mean? Shout out to Dash. But one half of the initial, the original, the origins, Jeide track. How you doing? How you living? We gonna get into an interesting topic tonight, where we talk about something that has been hashtagged to popularize the narratives, to even being somewhat of a psychological condition. FOMO, fear of missing out. And the reason why I really not missing the shit when it comes to nothing, you dig what I'm saying? The Dash is up in here, Tion Wells is up in here. What's going on with y'all? Let me set up the topic for tonight's conversation. And while I'm doing so, if y'all don't mind, DM us an instance in which you had a fear of missing out. Because don't get me twisted at all. I've had fear of missing out regarding certain things. Just not why I've been off of this whole entire social media period for the last month. I have not been missing social media. My life has been looking smooth as far as putting things in a real life perspective without having to go on Facebook, IG, or Twitter every 5 seconds. Shit is ridiculous, for real. But we gonna jump into it. But yeah, send us a DM, drop a comment, send us a message. Let us know when the last time y'all had FOMO. What was it about? How did y'all feel? And how did you get past it? How did you supersede past the emotions of feeling that you were missing out on something while you were either taking care of something or life just deviated you or put you onto a detour in which you had no choice but to sit down and let some things fly. Now, with that being said, and with the topic being pinned, I'm about to start tonight's conversation the way it should be, the way it would be, could be, and the way it is, by bringing in the other half of everything that you know PV.
What up, player?
What's going on with you?
How you feeling? How you
Cool,
feeling?
man. I'm great, man. How you living?
I'm chilling, bro.
Right on,
It's good
right
to
on.
see you. Like the aesthetics in the background. Who
Hey,
did the
Mom.
paintings? Oh, okay.
This one right here belongs to that African butterfly. So shout out to Nimade, that African butterfly. She had I sustained some damage onto the painting during my moving from the Northeast out to where I currently am in Mahwah, New Jersey. You know what I'm saying? So I had to take some time and trying to figure out how I was going to cover up such a large hole and still make it look smooth. And I finally did it. So sometime soon we're gonna make sure that that African butterfly gets her painting. I ain't gonna put it fully on camera though because you know what I mean, that's hers. That she gives me the rights. I'm just holding on to it. I did my job. That's hers. So I asked her for that, you know what I'm saying?
I
But
can
how you
feel
doing though, man? What's going on with you?
I'm chilling. I'm feeling good. It's Sunday, so you already know the vibes. Feeling comfy, trying to stay dry out the rain, been coming down all day. But yeah, outside of that, I've been feeling good.
Right on. Who's all up in here? I am Calixto Moon. What's going on with you? And Box, Rashad. If I slaughtered your name, please forgive me and please send the enunciation of your name. I will get it down. I promise. That I did a live with you once. Yes, you did. I do remember that you came on for a live and you joined us on a question regarding a conversation that we had a few lives ago. So we do appreciate you joining us. Welcome.
So how you been though overall? Like, like this past month? Like, what's been the vibes? You want to fill us in on what you've been doing, or you just want to keep
Nah,
that
it's
mystery
cool.
for now?
We gonna keep identities like this. I ain't letting nobody know who is what as far as what is what. But I did have a child. I had a daughter about 3 weeks ago now. I wanted to keep everything under wraps because I don't believe in letting things go when it comes to certain things when my presence is required as far as my mental, my emotional, my physical, and my spiritual. You know what I mean? And I also needed to take a diet break off of social media, so I disappeared off of social media for about a month. You know what I mean? Get my things re-centered, reorganized, put perspective back into my life as far as the things that I know I need to get straight, as far as providing for my daughter, providing for my family, and still making sure that the things that I know imbued within me as far as gifts and talents still come to fruition without having or with having the least amount of distractions available.
I can dig that. That's right on. That's right on. That's right on. So how's the detox been for you?
Great,
You know, like
great.
has it been refreshing?
I don't miss none of this shit. Great, great.
That's good. And how about the unfollow Jeide? You know how that's been moving, like, cause that at least like
It
shifted your algorithms, especially
has
with you being out.
absolutely. It's my algorithm is so clean. It's so much more cleaner now. You you're not gonna be able to get away from IG's littering suggestions based upon your likes and based upon people that follow you and you follow. You can't really get away from that. It's integrity based. It's integrity tied into the system. So because IG is a like-based platform, it's a follow and a like-based platform. You can't get rid of that. But because I got rid of um, the need for me to sustain myself on the platform for such a long period of time, and because I unfollowed so many people and encourage people to unfollow me on my timeline now, I get directly to the people that I want to get to. And even if I don't get directly to them, the suggestions are based more upon my direct likes than peripheral likes, things that really make sense to where I am, as opposed to things that the IG algorithm has been holding on to for years based upon me being on this platform for about a decade and some change and shit.
All right, that's smooth. That's smooth. That's good because that kind of takes me well to your topic, the fear of missing out. Because honestly, that's why I feel like IG be gearing the algorithms for because they be feeling like everybody is so geared to missing out on everything. You know, especially like news pertaining to like their favorite artists or their favorite people. Like that's why I like when you said you was doing it, like it started resonating in my head as something I should consider too because like my algorithm it'll play me like the same 10 15 people
Mm-hmm.
over and over again, and I started realizing after a while, you know, it's because those are the people I frequently talk to the most. So of course it's gonna keep me in the know of what it is because that's what IG is geared up to do, like keep you in the know of what you want to do. But the thing is, I don't always want to be in the know, you know, of what my people are doing because I communicate with them so much. I already have an idea of what they want to know. So what I want to see when I turn on the timeline is more inspiration, more stuff I don't know, I'm not aware of, stuff I'm not educated up on. So when the timeline is geared toward that, it makes it harder for me as a consumer, you know. So that's where my biggest gripe with IG is. And honestly, when you set the topic, you know, the fear of missing out, like it kind of like opened up a idea of like different things that we're affected by. Like, and I honestly, I had a question where I wanted to pose to you. Like, do you feel like the fear of missing out is like a good thing at times? You know, because I started seeing like the qualities that could be embarked if you did have that fear of missing out, like how you could be motivated to want to strive to do something quicker or to do something differently than you've done before. Because I started not only thinking about how I've been in positions where I felt fear, but also times where that fear has driven me to
Mm-hmm.
do good, you know. So how about
Um, I live by one principle as far as fear is concerned. Still is flesh, fear is still flesh. Fear is death. So I don't have it now anymore. I've had it, yes. when I was so dead centered on making something pop with my art. I was out networking every day while I was sick with my mom. And then when the pandemic it hit a little bit, you know what I mean, because I wasn't going out like that, everything was all stopped, you know what I'm saying? Not even all, but it completely shut down. Completely shut down. Just say it's how you. So yeah, I had it before. I know how. I don't feel like I walk in the line. You know what I mean? So when I'm outside of whatever the popular is, when I'm outside of that, I'm breaking up. Pardon. Let me know if y'all hear me like this. Please let me know if y'all can hear me like this. But I I am in a space now where the more I pull myself away from things and the more I allow the stream to continue to stream and move and water just to do what it does, I don't care about what people are doing. I'm on the next. I take this time to work on the things that's gonna make sense. I pop back out. I'm not catching up, niggas. I want to catch up. Like that shit don't make sense. Why would I? If I'm trying to catch up to y'all, to whoever y'all, that means I'm focusing enough on myself. So when I'm pulled away from something, that's it. I'm focused on myself. They said that it's a weird echo and it's a bad feedback that I'm receiving. I'm not too sure why. I do apologize.
Yeah. I thought it was my phone, though. Like I can hear you clear. It's just like after you talk, it is the echo like that falls out, and it kind of like stretches to make it seem like a little longer than it actually is.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure what the issue. To be completely honest with you, I did get a new phone, y'all. If I don't know if it's because the data plan on this phone is no longer working, this is just my media phone. So might be where I'm in the house. It might be because there's no data plan is using Wi. So it might be that. Not too sure, y'all. But I apologize.
That's all good. Technology be what it is. We can't even control that. Like, and honestly, I feel like the cell phones are geared up against us. Like they want to cause problems. Like the new ones give you issues, the old ones give you issues. They all give you issues. Like it just is what it is at this point. But do you feel like the need that fear of missing out is like it's security based? Like I know you mentioned it earlier, like you felt like you was off alignment, like whenever you felt that way, because and I'm glad that you agree that way because I do feel like it's insecurity based too. Because when I thought about all the times I felt like there was a fear of missing out, there was always this insecurity within myself. Like whether I felt like I was doing enough to get the job done, or like maybe I felt like there were ways I wasn't exercising that could have been exercised, to make my whatever I was trying to push at that time get along. And it was always like I was battling myself, and that's where the urge or the need or that feel of what, I'm not doing enough. I'm not where I should be. I'm not doing as everybody else would be. And like I even had this experience like within my own friend group and like the people I circle around, like just looking at their lives and where like they went comparing it to mine. And I actually spent like a little period of my life where, like I hate to admit it, but I was like comparing my life to those around me, like my inner circle, where like I'm like seeing the success they're getting, and I'm like thinking to myself, like, well, damn, we got the same education, we've been afforded the same opportunities, like we've been afforded the same, honestly, everything. But why is it? We've been assigned everything almost similar, but yours to see, and now I'm feeling, and like I kind of was looking at myself where I'm just like, well, damn, like, am I not doing this? Am I not doing that? Like, and that kind of was beating up on my character a little bit. And that's really where my biggest fear of missing out was, because it was just like, not only like I feel like I was just missing out, like on, I guess, leveling up, but I also felt like the my circle was running away from me, like my peers. Like I felt like, like I started off in this group, we all had the same skill set, but somewhere along the line, everyone started surpassing me, and I didn't know why they were surpassing me, and that honestly was the biggest frustration and the hurdle for me because it was it was like a jealousy that I had towards them, but I wasn't jealous of them. It was more so jealous of what they were doing and the fact that I couldn't do what they were doing, and that was really what was beating me up the most. And that fear of missing out was driving me crazy because like I was social media would play the biggest part because social media you see the highlights of everybody's life. So I would be seeing the highlights of their life and all the achievements, but never like the hard work they putting in behind the closed door. So in my mind, it's just like, well, damn, like how they stay winning, like how you stay winning, like. But yeah, that's where for me it lies, that insecurity, that
Yeah, I
insecurity
had
in myself,
when I suffered from FOMO, when I believed in, when I was a victim of it. My main thing was I don't know. I wouldn't say I wouldn't say I was missing out. It was, but I don't think that was the greater fear was me falling back or me going backwards. That's what the greater fear than me going backwards was building up on my name in certain circles and certain networks. The things that I invested as far as my talent, as far as my art, music, that, and not being consistent enough to see it through. That was the greatest fear. So it wasn't like I was missing out per se, even though I was. My thing was backwards. I didn't like the the perspective, the possibility of going backwards by not being. And the funny thing is, and this is something I say a lot. It's crazy. I ask y'all, I don't know why the echo is so crazy about be honest, but like I'm on a has no data. It's connected to Wi-Fi, and because I'm on the Wi-Fi, I'm strictly using Wi-Fi. I'm not sure, but I do apologize. I do apologize. We're gonna figure out something. We're gonna figure out something. Figure out something. Um, but I might have to talk like just for the to into a speech as much. My mom say taking step forward and two steps back, and he didn't nor did nor have I, and that was the greater the greater fear was taking X amount of steps forward and taking X times two amount of steps backwards. But sometimes, often, you have to take steps to move forward in a better, in a more stronger way because it's not here. This shit more like a lesson than anything else. It is not linear. Deep thought, the lyricist, what's going on with you?
Yeah, I ain't seeing no comments no more. Then my joints froze up. I don't know what Instagram doing. But yeah, I do like that the whole two steps back. I mean, two steps forward, one step back. Because I that's part of where my root of fear lies now. Like my fear of missing out. Because I'll say right now that's probably the biggest thing for me. Like the whole I'm petrified at this point in my life, like with us being in our 30s to be taking steps back. Although I know, we need to take steps back in order to progress, but even in that, that's where my biggest fear is, with tackling onto things. Like well, since we hit 30, or like since I hit 30 personally, like I've been having this fear in my head with everything I do in life. Like, and that it's always been, well, like I said, since I hit 30, it's been with this mindset of, does this progress me or does this set me back, and trying to weigh those pros and cons with each situation that I'm in. And as I get older, time becomes more critical to me. I don't know if that's like old age setting in, or if that's just like, maybe like what I've been hearing my whole life is just finally just starting to set in, as far as like the wisdom. But I'm becoming more mindful of like my time and how I allocate it, and what I do in allocating it. Like I'm more mindful, even in my in my off time, where I'm just like, okay, what am I trying to? Where are my goals? What am I trying to get down? What am I trying to do? And that fear of missing out is like what's pushing me every day to do that. Like to get me out the bed. Like that's really my motivating factor, because like that fear of missing out is what's motivating me to like chase the lifestyle I want for myself and my family. It's like I'm not even like on. It's like I'm using the fear, but it's not like fear like I'm competing it against others how I used to in my past. It's more so fear towards myself, like fear that I'll die and I won't live up to all the expectations I have for myself, like personally, like, and that's what's nagging at me. It's just like, you know what, like that fear I have, where I'm just like, yo, I'm not living the life I want to live. I need to push myself to get there. That's what's pushing me. Like even within like my relationships and like how I move, like I'll tell you this day. I had a situation earlier today where I was on the phone with a friend, and like normally and historically my ego would have just like supersided the moment, and it wouldn't, and like we got into a little back and forth where like my ego, where I knew in the moment I had to step outside my ego, like, and just remove my ego from the complete situation and just apologize. I knew I wasn't necessarily wrong, but I knew I wasn't right either. But I knew, like, historically, my ego would be like, I'm not wrong. I'm not apologizing for something I know I'm not wrong. But I was just like, what am I creating this divide for? Like, this is somebody I care about. This is somebody I value their opinion. We just not seeing opposite ends of the spectrum. But I know they're more right than I am. So let me step outside my ego. Let me be a better person. Let me be this person I keep trying to say I want to be, and actually take the steps to be, and challenging myself to be that person. So that fear of missing out is like also helping me like with my relationships. It's like I don't want to miss out on moments with people I care about as well, for meaningless shit, like if we gotta spend time apart, we gotta spend time apart, like that's life, like you're going to have your moments of separation, but like there's no need to create unnecessary moments, where I'm going to look back on years from now and like, damn, why did I let that argument, last that long? Like, why didn't I mend that fence? Like, why did I let that divide happen when it didn't have to happen? Like, did my ego really have to supersize that moment, or could I have really just stepped outside of it and just say, you know what,
Yeah,
let me check myself.
it's an
Let
ongoing
me.
battle. You live with your ego, die, the part of your flesh, man. It's an ongoing battle. So, and even though I know tools and tricks of the trade, if you will, helps with me speaking, people, understanding people, empathize with people, that puts me aside. Ego comes to the rescue quicker than logical rationality to hurt. So if someone says something that hurts you, or somebody does something that hurts you, before your reasonable mind, before you're recognizing that your ego can protect you, and if you move off of that, I still move off of that. I just I'm at a place now where I I have, I have doing, and I have to do better as far as taking a step back, breathing before you respond, because the one thing that feels worse than, you know, I guess pulling yourself in that moment, yeah, yeah, I'm saying, and it feels good, but it's a level of disgusting, stupid when you move off an ego and you in the middle. I hate that. I hate that. I hate that. I hate being full and responsible for the mess I clean up based upon me not just taking a step back, breathing, and knowing this shit ain't me or this shit is deep. So that makes me to be better because I know how that feels. I know how pride is. I've done something which my gets into, and I hate being that mess because you have to decide everything, and it's not promised that things will go the way you want it, and you're not doing it either. You're doing it because as a grown ass person, meant to be responsible for your actions. So you're not in a place where we're civil anymore. You're in a place if we get back on the terms of the deductible, you still in debt on the action put forth. So now you old trying to climb yourself up to square one where you can start to build. I hate that.
Yeah, I mean, like, and that's really egocentric and really ego driven at that point. Like it's not really about anybody else but your ego and the compliment of your ego. Um, oh no, I still ain't got. I don't got none of the comments that's popping up. My last one
Yeah,
is from King Groove and stuff.
no
I
comment.
was like trying
Just
to.
grooving right now. No comments.
So, do you feel like there's any traits or behaviors we can use to like offset, that fear of missing out?
And I
Or
mean,
is it?
behaviors,
Or,
yes, but you gotta be with yourself. There's a lot of people good with it. They need to club it. They need to the bar. They need like if you need to go out, if you need to socialize, it's something with you. It's something, and that's not something bad thing. Some people make a living with that, but know yourself enough to know that if you don't like the feeling of missing out, or even have fear of, or you wish to get, you need to stay by yourself. You need to know how to, you need to know how to distance yourself from the influence of other people. You need to know how to discern from the people that you listen to, you should listen to, versus those who are just talking noise. You have to be on your shit. And by being on your shit, I mean completely unplugged, completely pulling yourself away. And not necessarily having to give everybody information. I remember my mom telling me she didn't really how can I say it? When I told her she needed to take a break from social media, she's the type that would take a break. I offered her information, follow I. I didn't have to. I could have just up. Some people
yeah, I was
give,
surprised you did. I follow.
some people feel they must give an explanation, and that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But know when to stop the extension of your reach. I could give you my can't reach my I keep it pushing. Nothing more than I can really do. If I keep my whole arm around trying to pull you up, I can't get back. You pull me all the way down because I'm already giving you my arm. And if you pull me into the I can't get back. I did that.
I I know you're right, and at that point, like you can't really help nobody if you can't help yourself. So why give all that of yourself? I mean, the explanation, like I understood, like why you did it. You like, and you're right. Like some people do feel that need to give an explanation, and honestly, I think that's partly like rooted out of the fear of missing out as well too. You know, like let me give you an explanation why I won't be here, like so you guys would kind of keep me in the loop to an extent. You know, like I do feel like that's that's somewhat of like a connection as to why like people have the fear of missing out too. I do feel like that's somewhat of it. Um, and I also feel like, you know, like it's not even just like that fear of like me missing out. I feel like, like the people around you will have that fear, like they feel like they're missing out on your life, you know. And like some people, it's not even like Jeide, you one of the people that remind me of like you're cool, like whether you interact or don't interact with people, you know. But I can honestly see it be the people around you that have the bigger issue. Like you're cool, like, but they have more of an issue that you aren't around, that you aren't reaching out, that you aren't communicative, and that'll create the issue with you because it's just like, yo, I'm trying to live, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that, and the third. And you giving me attitude because I'm not approaching you. I'm not reaching out to you. I'm not active in your life. You need that connection. Like I'm cool. Like, and I feel like that's where you're at. Like I can really see like that's how your life is. Like, and it's more like the people around you. And like I do see that in more instances than not. Like where it's more so like the people that you're around and the people that are close to you that feel like that nag, and that's where the tug and pull of fear of missing out is more so. Like, and I actually use that with myself too, because like within my family dynamic, I have that, you know. So it would be like today, it was supposed to be a big family event that I missed out on. It's raining cats and dogs outside. I just didn't feel like traveling a long distance just to be in the rain, just mingle and matter with the family for like 30 minutes, you know. Like I could just send my love, call, whatever. Now, I know for a fact that divide creates a certain, I don't want to say, well, I mean, it is a certain level of friction, you know, because like it is a certain level of like anguish and feelings that like my loved ones feel when I don't come to an event, you know, and it's like they get their hopes up high, like, yo, I haven't seen you in a while, like, you know, we can get to kick it, I get to see your face, you know, whatever the case may be, you know. So when I don't come, I do feel I like, even if it's not said verbally, you feel it, you feel the energy, you know, like whether it's like I can even feel it to an extent, like even like on social media, just like the in the language that's used in conversation, like you feel the energy shift slightly, where it's just like, you know what, you should have been here. Like, do you think you're too big for the family, or whatever the case may be, or whatever, whomever is how feeling, however they feeling, you know, they feel a certain type of way when I'm not around, you know, and it's like they have that fear of missing out on what they feel like they missing out on my life. Like the moments they feel like they should be sharing with me, like the moments they feel like I should be sharing with them, like that they aren't a part of. And like I can see that and I can understand that and I can actually sympathize with that. And I too share that same fear where it's just like, you know, I want to be around family more. I want to spend more time with them. I want to share more moments with them. I understand how important this is, like entirely. But at the same time, like how you said earlier, when you had that singular focus of what you want to do, you kind of got to prioritize what makes sense and when it makes sense, and you have to miss out, you know, like that's part of life too. Like you're going to miss out on on something. You're not going to catch every event, every outing, every gathering, you know, like, and if you are trying to catch it, you're going to burn yourself out pretty soon, you know. And that's something I've learned too within life. Like don't burn yourself out trying to make everybody happy, trying to satisfy everybody, trying to even satisfy my own soul of like that need to want to make everybody happy. Because like within my heart, of course, I want to make everybody happy. I want to be around my loved ones. I want them to feel my love and share my love with them. But realistically, I know I'm only human. And like at the end of the day, I gotta be realistic with myself. Like I can have all the love in the world, but like if you aren't meeting me somewhere in that in that spectrum of like trying to meet me halfway, then like, like, God bless, I love you. Hey, you're gonna just be mad at me,
Yeah,
like.
real. It's gotten to a point. It's gotten to a point, okay, where certain people change or they impact changes. I won't even open it, delete it. I don't want the emotional baggage that somebody trying to make me feel some type of way. So certain people, I see the notification, I see the notification message, or even the first words of it, and it's like, yo, open it, press. I don't need it. I don't want it. Especially if I want to tell people what it was. Why are we responding? You know what I mean? Why for me to get it's not easy because you build connection and you go somewhere. You know that you're going somewhere. You know it takes build. It takes help you build. People change. So if I go and it's not just everybody, myself will change. If I build my brick, if I used to build my straw, water, and rock, and I used to just make it, and I worked for several years making bricks with straw, rocks. One day I come across somebody who put me on game with clay. I'm not using straw, water, and rocks. So the merchants sell straw, water, might look at me and go, what's going on? You know, like, we were cool, but you see what I'm building? This merchant got, I had to do with the shit y'all had. And cool, it ain't no love. But y'all haven't y'all sales needed, y'all haven't even y'all inventory. Y'all still rocks, straw, and water. That's a good fee, but find other people. Because for what I'm doing, it ain't enough.
I like that. Inventory yourself. I'm gonna have to steal that line. I like that line. Try to inventory yourself, because like enough. A lot of us aren't doing enough inventory of stuff, like, or at least even sitting down to figure out what it is about ourselves that we need to improve upon. And I speak for myself personally, because like how you said earlier, like this is all stuff that I'm still working through myself. Like I'm no master of like of having this control of not fearing like I'm missing out on anything, or this control of emotions where I'm not bothered by things in the slightest. Like this is all stuff I'm processing through day by day, event by event. I'm just trying to make, each moment better than the next, and like even the process of, taking inventory, like that's why I love that line, how you said it, like, cause that's real. It's really like taking the checklist of like what you're doing, like, and assessing like what you're bringing and what you're not bringing to the quote unquote table, and honestly having that sit down and like in that conversation with myself where I'm just like really like holding myself accountable for where I want to be and what I'm doing, and the relationships I have and don't have, and like for me, I got to a point, and like it was just more so out of frustration with where like things were going for me, like as far as like just how I seen like my trajectory if I would have stayed in that path in life. And it was just like I was just more so frustrated with myself, like, and just like where I allowed relationships to fester and fall to, where I was just like, like I could blame this person, I could blame that person, I could do this, and I could say they ain't do that. But at the end of the day, like, what did I do, like, to make the situation better? Like, besides just say, yo, you didn't do your part. Like, did I really like go above and beyond? Like, and like when I really started asking them questions, I was just like, like if honestly, I was spending enough time where I was like thinking about it, where I was just like, I'm spending too much time trying to figure out if I did do it. So I obviously didn't do it enough. If it don't come to my mind, like, yeah, like immediately where I could think of like, you know what? yeah, I have been going over and above and beyond. I probably have been, and for them, they probably feeling the same way. So it's just like, it's another form of, like I was saying, like I'm learning how to step out my ego. I'm learning how to maintain my ego, because you do have to have your ego to a certain extent. Like you can't be a walkover and just walk through life with like this, you know, everybody is perfect vibe, trying to uplift others without a certain type of ego to you, like, so you do need your ego. It's essential, but at the same time, it's essential to have it in check where it doesn't oversee every moment that you're going through, oversee every event, like oversee like any conversation you have where it's just like I can't even step outside of my ego to allow the moment to be the moment. So that's where I'm really at, Jetty. Like this whole topic, that's really where my mindset was at, where it was just like, what, this is learning how to adjust to your ego, like learning when and where to, like, flex that masculine muscle, when to be like, what, I gotta flex on, and knowing when to, I gotta step back, I gotta learn, I gotta assess, I gotta shut the fuck up.
Yeah. So, see the lady suggested that I turn the volume down. Not sure if that helped. Just turn the volume down. Hopefully, you know what? Let me try something real quick. Hopefully, it doesn't kick me off the live, but let me try something. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
This
this
not
sound
working.
worse though. Actually, oh no, keep on talking, because I like that one. Keep on talking, man. It might have just been
All right,
initially.
so I hear the I hear what y'all saying now. I hear it inside these AirPods.
It sounds clearer though now to
Okay.
me. I don't know how the audience feel, but if they cool with it, I'm cool with it, because it
Okay.
sounds clear to
See,
me.
the lady said it's fine. That African butterfly said yes, much better. All right, so I apologize. My fault, y'all. From here on out, I'm gonna be. She said, "Wait, no, it's still doing it." See, I gotta figure life out. I really gotta figure life out. You know what I'm saying? But she said it's a little better. All right, cool, cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's better than before. Like for me, like you hear, like it's kind of like, how like the TV be at night, like when you got it like a
Hmm.
little staticky, like slightly. It's kind of like that. Like it's not annoying, it's not bothering
Hmm.
you, but you hear it though.
I
Like
feel that. That African butterfly said, "Yeah, sometimes you have to be okay with people being wrong about you. Some people are determined to misunderstand you." That the gem of that statement cannot be understated. And it took me a while for me to get there because a part of certain people, because I had the heart where I want to be understood. I don't want people to take my words wrong and feel some type of way if I say something. I don't want people to take my actions wrong and feel some type of way if I do something. It took me a long time to get to a place where I just have to do for myself and not give a fuck how people feel. And when I say people, I'm not mentioning friends and family. I'm just talking about periphery. Because friends and family gonna get the communication. And y'all know who y'all are. But as far as the periphery, and it's not like I don't give a fuck, like it's like the connotation like, oh fuck you, you did this to me, I don't give a fuck. No, it's just I have to do this for myself. I can't be here doing this for you or for anybody else. I have to do this for myself. And even if I am a part of a community, I have to pull away so that I can strengthen myself so that I'm worth something when I come back. If I come back. Because here's the kicker. You still need people no matter what you do. Even if you don't return to the community that you left, you're going to join another community. So no matter what you do, elevation is going to require you to I don't want to say coagulate, even though that's the word that clicked in my head. Elevation is going to require you to galvanize with like minds so that you can build greater things. You ain't gonna be able to do it with yourself or by yourself, no matter what the fuck it is that you're doing. But I guarantee you this: But you ain't gonna be able to build no mansion that you can live in if you still playing with Lego blocks. Nigga, learn masonry or something. Cause I guarantee you still playing with Lego blocks. You can build a Mike Tyson mansion out of Lego blocks. I guarantee you that shit gonna be dead by the time the week over with. Cause it's toys. It's plastics. If you don't know nothing about masonry, if you don't know nothing about foundation, you just made something that looks pretty. That
And like, oh no, go ahead,
go
go ahead.
ahead.
Oh no, I was just about to follow up on what you were saying, like especially with the building of community. Like part of stepping back is so you can figure out what community you belong to. Like that time alone, away from your loved ones, like that's vital. Like as people, like it's we grow faster the further we stretch away from that safe place, from that comfort that we call home. Like the more we deviate from it, like it do challenge us in a way that helps us grow and pushes us further along that path. Like for me, like the biggest moments of growth like that, like were moments I stepped outside of my comfort zone, were moments I did something that was completely out of my norm, whether that's moving, whether that's being a different location, a different career path, or just like even the people I interact with, and just like maybe like it's been moments where I had to like cut off like my closest friends, like not because of anything they done, but because like I just felt too comfortable within my day to day presence within them that I just knew I wasn't challenging myself. And when you do take that time to like challenge yourself to figure out what it is that's driving you, that inner thing that's going to get you up in the morning to motivate you to keep on doing it, because it's something within us all that motivates us every day. Like whether you know it or not, it's something that gets you out that bed each morning to continue the life that you're doing. Like whether you acknowledge it or not, or know what that purpose is, it's a reason. And the sooner you figure out that reason, it makes life a lot more enjoyable. And when you're walking in that purpose of you finding out that you know what you want to do, like you start meeting, like the world kind of brings you the people that you need in your community, the people that's going to help you uplift your dreams and goals. Like, and speaking for myself, there's plenty of times, like even now, where like in my day to day, I'm encountering people that beneficial to the growth of where I want to be, that I didn't even know. Like even within my coworkers at work, I found different people like that's put me on to information about taxes, put me on to information about fashion, how to do this, how to do that. But it's more so me opening up myself and allowing myself to be, vulnerable enough to understand and know what they learn. I mean, learn what they know.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. There's a couple of comments that I want to get to. That African butterfly said, yup, because people always see things through the lens of their perception. No matter how clear you try to be, they might still not be able to see from your point. That's absolutely true. That's real. And as a side, African butterfly, I got your painting. We got to set something up. It's over here in this corner. I'm not going to show it to the people. We're going to keep this between us. If you give me permission, I will, just so you can see. But it sustained the damage from when I moved, and I was able to finally cover it up. It looks beautiful. It runs with the nature theme. I got you. I got you. We got to set something up, but you got to come to the city because life then life then life. But T the lady said, I realized that everything you put out is a seed, and you will truly know what type of plants you have nurtured when it's harvest time and you start digging up what you planted. The proof is in the pot. That's a fact. That's a
I
fact.
like that. That's a fact for sure. So we're closing in on the
Yeah,
hour
yeah,
mark.
yeah.
You
Mm-hmm.
want to tell everybody about all the
Yes.
changes that's coming this way?
Everybody in here, for everybody who's watching outside of the live on the YouTubes,
on whatever platforms this will be. This is also a snippet of this will also be on Twitter. So this is the third season, and this is the last season as you know it. There are major things that are changing within the dynamics of PVM. One of our main things is we have a Patreon. Yes, we have a Patreon for this season, in which we will be accepting the first 100 patrons to pay as you will. It's set at $3, but you pay as you will. If it's lower than $3, it's love. We will return whatever that you paid. That is not the $3 limit. If it's over, it's love. If it's three, it's all love. But the first 100 people pay as you will. We are setting up a list of exclusive contents that the Patreon will have. After this year, PVM will no longer be exclusively on IG Live. In fact, we're only going to be doing lives on IG. We're going to move the platform to YouTube, to Patreon. We're going to move it to these other platforms that are going to allow us to give you more exclusive content. It's been a little, IG has done as well, but it's been a little bit too rigid being under the IG protocol terms and conditions, and we're challenging to elevate us to a place where we will be able to provide better quality to the people who have been supporting us and the people who continue to join the ship and to know what PVM is all about. So y'all go to PVM's Patreon. It is in the link. Link is in the bio of PVM Talk Show. Y'all donate what y'all will. The first 100 people only for this year. And when I say this year, I mean from this date, from October, what is it, the 2nd to October the 2nd,
Yeah.
2023. That's when the close off happens. The first 100 people pay as you will. Afterwards, we're going to run payment tiers, and we have a few things that we're going to introduce as far as things that Dash is going to be doing as a chef, things that I will be doing as an MC slash an artist. We have some things, but yes, this will be the last season, as y'all know, of PVM on this IG platform. So check out the Patreon, check out the Patreon, check out our link. Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
No. Oh no, that was perfect. Like definitely subscribe to the Patreon. We're gonna have cooking classes up on there, cooking lessons. So definitely get your pots and pans ready because we're gonna be doing a lot of cooking, guys. Especially with the winter being here, we starting off with some warm, fulfilling food item choices. That's gonna keep y'all warm, toasty in the house. Because the way it's already done started. I can anticipate a cold ass winter coming shortly. So no, that's all I got. And subscribe to the YouTube channel, guys. I see the numbers. Well, we see the numbers going up. We love the action that you guys are showing on YouTube already. But continue to like, follow, and subscribe that channel as well. Going to have more material coming up on that. And oh yeah, and Wednesdays. You ain't telling them about
What's
Wednesdays.
happening Wednesdays? I might have missed that. Pardon me.
Yeah,
Oh
you're not
yeah,
going to
I'm
be
only
here.
going to be on here for Sundays. Once again, I said it in the beginning of the show, so I'll reinstate, I'll re-emphasize that I pulled away from social media for the last 30 days for myself to get up on my diet and to readjust as well for the fact that yes, I am a daddy now. My child was born like 3 weeks ago, so things are a bit different as far as my sustainability on PVM. Every week, twice a week. Nah, nah, nah. In fact, Daddy Duties is calling me right now. So, I'm only going to be on here for Sundays. Dash is definitely be going to hold it down on Wednesdays from here on out, though. And once again, Patreon, Patreon, Patreon. Y'all throw a little something into the pot. The first 100 people will be able to get exclusive membership to our Patreon before the payment tiers become the norm. So y'all go do it. Y'all go through. Y'all do that. Y'all do that.
Yes. And with Jeide not doing the Wednesdays, we got two new hosts that's gonna help me out on Wednesdays. One is a young lady named Kima. The second is our brother, Juice World. So they're going to be participating with me Wednesday evenings, so guys get comfortable with their faces and show them some love too, like we appreciate what they're going to bring to the platform and help grow PVM as a whole. And that's all I really got to say for tonight. Unless we wanna do the follow wrap up so you
Nah,
can
I'm
get back
out.
to daddy duty. I don't
Nah,
want to
I'm
hold
out.
that
I'm out.
princess
I'll
time.
send out. T the lady said we may have misinformation. King, y'all may have to reiterate important things y'all want us to know, but we got y'all. Definitely going to hold it down. I'll send the Patreon link to you, and I'll send
Appreciate
you
that,
some
Queen.
some points of things that we're going to be adding to the Patreon over time. T the lady, I'll make sure that I reach out to you personally about that. And that African butterfly, thank you very much. No, I haven't shared the baby's name yet. No, I haven't shared who my partner is. We're keeping all that on the hush, but it's only going to be on the hush for that long. I'm waiting until her first photo shoot, you know what I mean? And then I'll put pictures out there and I'll put her name eventually. But right now, we're keeping things under wraps. But I do appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Are you doing the photo shoot? Okay, I see you. Jenny Cannon out here.
Word. But yeah, look, y'all, Dash, thank you for calling me Dash. I love you. Y'all already know PVM this Wednesday. Y'all tune in. Y'all heard what the brother's saying. We're going to have a special guest. Dash is going to hold it down. I love y'all. We out.